Hi guys, thank you for joining me on my channel, Growth on Purpose. I'm so excited to be making this video because I wasn't sure that I would actually be able to get this month's video in, being December with the countdown to Christmas. But at the same time, I recognized that it was really important that I actually make the video. So I am really happy that I've actually managed to get it in. The title of this video is Why Growth on Purpose. And this is why I actually wanted to get this video done, especially because we're coming into a new year. And if you're like me, you subscribe to that line of thinking that you need to make a plan for the new year, make some resolutions. Some people, they think we by the time you get to the end of January, you've already thrown away most of your resolutions, which is probably true. You've thrown away some, but I would rather start the new year with a plan and miss some things than start without a plan at all. So whatever you subscribe to, at whatever point you actually think this is my reset period, this is the time that I actually think I am going to be setting my goals. For you, it could be quarterly, it could be at random points, whatever point that is for you. This video is still for you, because we all need to make plans so that we can grow on purpose. So why should we actually choose to grow on purpose? Why should there be intention when it comes to our growth? Well, you all remember when you were a child. For those of you who are actually parents to young children at the moment, you've probably experienced an encounter where your young child, or where even you yourself when you were a child, went to your parent and you said, Mom, today somebody tripped me. And your mom would look at you and they would say, they tripped you. Was it on purpose or was it an accident? And that was the deciding thing. Is it on purpose or is it an accident? And as soon as you said it was an accident, they would probably say, okay, are you okay? Oh, that's okay. Accidents happen. And they would move on. But if you actually said it was on purpose, the conversation changed. They actually wanted to know more. They wanted to know the background, the scenario. Are you sure it was on purpose? Has he done this before? Is he your friend? They probed more. They want to know the situation. Why do parents do this? Why do they want to know more information when you actually tell them that somebody tripped you on purpose? Because parents recognize that if somebody trips you on purpose, there was intention behind it. And why is that intention important? Because they know it means they might actually seek out more opportunities to continue tripping you up, to continue messing you around. And it could actually turn into a more serious situation. So even in this example, you can see the importance of intention. Intention means you potentially, there's a higher likelihood that you will actually be seeking out more and more opportunities to do this thing, in this situation, to trip up your child. So you watch out more for it. So what does this actually have to do with our growth? Well, your growth has to be intentional. It has to be on purpose. It can't be accidental. Why don't we care when somebody trips us up by accident? Because the chances of them doing it again are next to nothing. They just happened to do it. They were not thinking about it. It was not even anything that might actually come back into their mind for them to do it. And it is the same thing with your growth. Sometimes when you learn something new, just because it happened to come your way. You learn something because it came your way. You know, the likelihood that you're going to pursue it, you're going to actively try and know more and develop yourself further in this particular area is next to none. And this is what happens, especially to us when we're still growing up and we're still in formal education. A lot of what we learn when we're in formal education is stuff that is presented to us. You know, we're just learning things because it is stuff we're being told that we're supposed to learn, and that's great. You know, we have to learn all of these things, but what happens when you leave formal education and there's nobody actually actively telling you, you need to learn this, you need to do this? Now, for a lot of us, our growth becomes accidental. It is no longer on purpose. So we have to make a decision to actively choose to grow on purpose, especially because there's no longer anybody presenting these learning growth opportunities for you. As I was thinking on this video, I actually thought, you know, in business, when businesses choose to grow, it's been a while actually since I learned this, so hopefully I don't get all muddled up with the facts. When businesses choose to grow, there are two options for them. They can either decide that they are going to grow horizontally, which is called horizontal integration, or they're going to grow vertically, which is called vertical integration. Now, what this is, without me going into a lot of detail, because I have no detail, is if a business decides that they're going to grow horizontally, it means they are choosing to expand by probably getting into partnership, having a merger with another business which is operating at the same level that it is operating. So for example, a supermarket can choose that, okay, we're going to join forces with another supermarket chain so that we become a larger supermarket chain, and that is our strategy for growth. However, if they choose that, okay, no, this is not how we actually want to expand ourselves, they will choose to go the vertical integration route. And when they do that, they are not growing with a business which is operating at the same level it is, but they're choosing that, okay, we are going to grow with somebody who is at a different level of our supply chain. So for example, the supermarket can decide, okay, instead of us relying on all of these farmers to provide produce for us, you know what, we are actually going to own the farms. So these will be our farms. We own the produce. We know where the produce is coming from. This is now also part of our core business. Or they can decide that, you know what, instead of actually working with this company to rely on them for delivery, we are going to own the delivery business, and they will get they will expand in that way, and the delivery business will become also part of their business. So they have chosen to grow vertically, or they choose to grow horizontally. So as I was thinking about that, I actually thought, you know, as human beings, we should also adopt the same strategy for growth in our lives. You know, businesses actively choose to expand. Well, some don't, but they actually actively, those that actively choose to expand, they do it vertically, they do it horizontally. So how can we apply the same sort of thinking in our own personal lives? It actually had me thinking that, you know, we should also choose to grow vertically or horizontally. And for me, what I actually thought this would mean for us personally is, when you choose to grow vertically, you are choosing to grow in a specific area, which is already an area that is a part of your life that is not new. So for example, if you went to university and you started and you studied accounting, you get your first class degree, and vertical growth in that situation would mean that you For example, you get a graduate opportunity, you get a graduate job in accounting. Vertical growth would mean once you now have secured your graduate job, you continue on to study for your professional accounting exams until you become qualified and you're now a chartered accountant. And vertical growth would mean, for example, after several years, you decide, you know what, I actually want to know more and understand more. I am actually going to get an MBA. That's vertical growth. And then you think, you know what, I have been with this company for several years. I think I have exhausted all my growth opportunities over here, but if I change jobs and I go to a different firm, I can see that there are more growth opportunities for me in this field. So you are still in your accounting field, but throughout you have been seeking out vertical growth opportunities for you to know more in that area. So that's from how I actually thought, yeah, you know, that's vertical growth. For me personally, I am actually still sitting some professional exams myself. So that is an area of vertical growth for me. And then I thought in horizontal growth for us could mean that you are branching out into completely new territory. It is uncharted territory for you. It is new. It is things you actually have not engaged in. It is unrelated to what you currently know. So, you know, it could be having children. Starting a family is horizontal growth. It is completely new, uncharted territory. So that is an area of horizontal growth. So using the accounting example, if you are an accountant and you decide, you know what, I'm going to start a cupcake making business, that is you choosing to expand yourself horizontally into new territory which is not familiar to you. To use myself, doing these YouTube videos is horizontal growth for me because it is completely unrelated to what I do in my day job, but it is something that I love doing, that I am really enjoying doing, but it is definitely horizontal growth for me because it is something new to what I have been focusing on professionally. So that is horizontal growth. You know, there's so many areas when you choose that you're going to start breaking into new ground, things that are not familiar, things you've never done, completely new things. You're going to start a completely new business which is unrelated to anything that you're currently doing. That is your horizontal growth. But the interesting thing is, or the good thing is, when we make these decisions for us to grow horizontally, or for us to grow vertically, or for us to grow horizontally, these are sometimes not necessarily things where we should be going, okay, I'm just growing vertically, or I'm just growing horizontally. Or you can, you know, in the sense of professional growth, you can just decide, okay, at the moment I am just choosing to focus on getting my career established, getting myself really where I should be in my career, seeking out those opportunities. You can just say, I'm focusing on my vertical growth in this particular area, and that is completely fine. Or you can, as you are focusing vertically, there are also areas where you're focusing horizontally. And once you have chosen which areas you're going to focus on horizontally, using myself, now that I have actually started making these YouTube videos for this channel, I now have an opportunity to actually grow vertically in this area, because I am not an expert in making YouTube videos. So there are so many areas that are still open for me to grow vertically in this business of making YouTube videos. So I can choose to learn, how am I gonna make my videos look better? What process am I gonna use for me to actually think of the content that I'm actually going to present? All of these things, those are now my areas of vertical growth. But the first choice that I had to make before I started doing this was actually deciding I am going to go into this thing, and this will be my area of horizontal growth. So you can see that, it's your journey. You decide what areas you're going to focus on. Are you going to be focusing vertically? Are you going to be focusing horizontally? Are you going to be having some areas where you say, okay, at this point I'm going to focus vertically in this way, and I'm going to focus horizontally in this way? It is your journey. And I think there is a danger sometimes, because some people actually decide that they're going to focus vertically for a while, and they're watching people who are focusing horizontally in other areas, and you can start to think, well, but then this person is actually doing a lot more than I am doing. And that may not actually be the case. The case is they have chosen that at this point, at this season in their life, they're also going to start focusing on some areas of horizontal growth. But that's okay if you are focusing on your areas of vertical growth. And I think when you're still a young person, you have recently graduated, or you're even still at university, whatever, it's your focus is usually a lot more on vertical growth, because you're still trying to establish yourself in a specific area as you're finding out what area exactly is for you. So most of the time there aren't a lot of vertical growth there aren't a lot of horizontal growth opportunities for you, and that is perfectly fine. That is the season of life where you are. So I actually thought, as I said, being December, and as we're thinking about getting into 2021 and what we actually want to get and achieve in this new year, that it is important that we actually think, why should we be thinking about our growth being on purpose, and in what ways can we actually grow? So have a think for yourself in your own life. What areas are you going to choose to grow vertically? What areas are you going to choose to grow horizontally? And as I said, these are not big things. Sometimes your growth vertically can actually be you choosing to say, I want to know more about this particular field in what I am currently doing. So I am going to get a book so that I can read around it and understand around it. You are actually choosing that you're going to grow vertically. You could be a person who is saying, okay, I always make vanilla cupcakes, and I always use the cupcake example. Who's always making vanilla cupcakes, but you know what? I want to grow vertically in making cupcakes, and I am going to start making red velvet cupcakes. You are choosing to grow vertically in this area. So it is up to you. You choose what steps you're going to take, how big or how small they are going to be for you to grow vertically or for you to grow horizontally. So that is what I actually just wanted to share with you guys in this video on why growth on purpose. Remember, your growth is important, and it is something that should be done on purpose. Just as parents recognize that when something happens to your child and it is on purpose, they recognize that there is potential that this thing could really explode, and it could continue going, and there'll be more opportunities sought to continue doing this sort of thing. Growth by accident, that can happen to anybody, but it's not going to go anywhere. There will be no momentum with that type of growth, because you just kind of stumbled across it. So as you are planning for yourself what this new season of life brings, think about your horizontal. and think about your horizontal and think about your vertical growth opportunities. And I really hope this video has been encouraging for you, and will really help you as you move forward in whatever chapter of life you currently are in. Please leave your comments in the comment section if this was helpful to you. You know, share the video with somebody else. That's why I make these videos, because I think it's important that we actually grow together and we grow on purpose. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. You know, I would love for a lot more people to actually benefit from these videos that I'm making. So I'm really, really happy to be making them. And I am happy that I have managed to get this December video in. So, you know, thank you guys for watching. And until the next video, it's bye for now.